Okay. What's up?
You were gonna you titled this "It's Showtime." I got on a while ago to title it as "Surprise." It's another episode,
I didn't
but
see that. I
there's
didn't
some
see that.
no. I was going to, but there was some metadata and stuff that I didn't click save or create or send
Uh
or something like. So I stopped like in the middle
yeah,
of
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
I'll just wait for Jason to come up with this thing.
I came up
But
with some random stuff again because of what Tin sent yesterday. Hey, can you turn your gain up a little bit?
gain. Let's see if we can do that.
But surprise, yes, we are here for some odd reason. You ready to go?
Hold on a second. How's this? Is this too loud?
No, it's a little exploded a bit.
It is too loud then. How about this one? How's this?
Again,
How's this?
too low.
I'll go back to the I'll go back to
What
the other
happened?
settings. Hold
Wha-
on.
Okay,
Automatically adjust volume. Okay, how's this one? How's that?
too low.
Too low?
Yeah,
How's this? How's this? How's this?
that's
How's
better.
this?
Oh, that's
Better?
horrible. No, you sound like
Better?
exploded.
Better too loud? How's this? I don't know how to fix it anymore. How's
Parang
this?
sabuge,
How's
you
this?
know?
How's this?
Eh, it's all right.
We need a third person or somebody else to monitor what we sound like outside, man.
I
Or
know,
to
I know. Maybe we need to
clean
hire
this up.
somebody and pay somebody to sit around and like listen. All right,
Can
let me
you?
start the show.
Okay. Go ahead.
Two guys from two sides of the world. The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. You can catch us live online on YouTube and Facebook Monday, Wednesdays, and Sundays. And now, your hosts, Jay and Noel.
Yeah, updated, baby.
Wow.
Updated.
Are we not gonna get copyright strike from the music that you pick?
No. I'm not gonna get that because that's from CapCut. So
Oh,
everybody uses it.
nice.
You know
Okay,
what I mean?
okay. All right. Everything is all cool. No comment except for the fact that the frame size is wrong. So you could hear
Yeah,
you can
I
see
know. You can see.
you can always,
Well,
it's all right. Can always
yeah,
fix
I
it.
mean,
But
I made it work. I made it work.
it sounds good though, and it's clear. Sounds like
Yeah,
it's
it worked out pretty good.
done by a professional announcer. Like, ladies and gentlemen, your host for
Yeah.
today.
If anybody needs to hire somebody there, come on, hook it up, yo. Anyway, welcome. It is a new episode, surprisingly, coming to you live this Monday evening here in the US and Tuesday morning in the Philippines.
Yeah, and speaking of a new episode, old shirt. I wanted to commemorate the new episode with an old shirt. This is the one that had like a big ass hole here on the side.
Ah, that's right. There's no more hole.
And then Tin was kind enough to was it on this side? Oh no, it's on this
No,
side.
it's on the other side. Yeah, there you go.
That
There you
got
go.
all stitched up and everything. So if you look at an old ass episodes, you could see the hole sort of slowly each episode getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then finally, it almost fell off my shoulder. And she
Right.
was kind enough to surgery it for me.
Surgery, it really. That's what you're
Is,
going to say.
is your wife listening to a different podcast or a different show?
She's actually watching. Can you turn it down a little bit? Ace, Ace, Ace,
That's
turn it
how
down a little.
uninteresting the program is for today. Yeah.
She is actually watching a rerun of the Oscars, which happened last night, I guess, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
how's that going?
I haven't watched it. I haven't seen it. The only thing that went across my my feeds this morning was John Cena strolling across the stage naked. It was
Oh,
kind of funny. I watched it though. It was pretty cool.
okay. Who hosted this time?
Jimmy Kimmel, I believe.
Okay. No
Yeah,
bloopers,
Jimmy.
no F ups or anything like that. Nothing to talk
Not
about.
that I know of. Again, I didn't even know that the Oscars was yesterday, to be honest with you. I just saw the feed this morning and I'm like, what? The Oscar was last night? Really? You
I
know,
didn't know the Oscars were still on. I thought they canceled.
come on.
I'm
I
kidding.
didn't. Although the one thing that did pop up as well was Oppenheimer, which was a movie about the I guess the nuclear arms race. Won Best Picture. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to see it.
Real quick, speaking of Oppenheimer, it's on IMAX, right? So
Yeah.
I've been cramming to educate myself about the Dune series. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I watched it on Netflix yesterday,
Oh
planning
my
to watch
god.
part two like in the IMAX theaters. I just thought I'd share with you real quick the reason why IMAX is so friggin' expensive. I mean, it's
Hmm.
like twice, three times the price walking into a
Jeez, that's a
regular
huge
movie
difference.
theater.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that Dune is such like a 3 hour movie, um, Open Oppenheimer and all the other I was wondering, there was this video that popped up in my feed, like why is IMAX so expensive? Well, aside from the technological, crisp, clear size of the screen and everything, I didn't know that the theaters, the machines are actually connected online. So if there's something that screws up, there's like a
Yeah.
worldwide sort of tower, like a control center for IMAX. Did you know
What do
that?
you mean? Like if something? What do you mean if something happens? Like, and what do you mean it's connected online? I don't understand.
So you're in a movie theater, your
Right?
projector, your IMAX projector, apparently, according to the documentary that I saw, it's like a 6 minute documentary. It's connected online. So if there's something that happens to the projector, like down at the control center of the headquarters, I don't know where it is exactly.
Yeah.
They could monitor it and do something about it. There's a technician that can actually fix it online.
Wow. I thought I thought the IMAX experience is like literally from head to toe type of thing. You know what I mean? Like remember with do you remember when Independence Day came out? I
Mm.
think that was like the first inception of IMAX when it first came out, where the seats were shaking and everything, you know, based on what the movie was playing.
I
Something
don't
like
think
that.
it's I don't think it's got anything to do with the seats. That's like 4D cinema already. But for IMAX,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
true.
it's supposed to be good sound, real crystal clear sort
Crystal
of
clear. Yeah.
visuals and a bigger screen. Aside from
Mm,
those basics, I didn't know what I'm emphasizing here is I didn't know that the projector is
right.
connected online. So the IMAX guys were saying that we know that if you're not playing the movie, if you're playing it
In
wrong,
IMAX.
if it's offline, if it's like off sync or something's
Right.
wrong with the
Right.
theater, they'll
Right.
actually know there's actually headquarters or some kind of tower somewhere in a secret location in the world, like 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 a like an airport tower where they
Right.
could
Right. Right.
actually
Right.
see all the theaters that's going on like all around the world, and then they had like a quick screenshot on where all the IMAX theaters are in the world,
Yeah.
and one of them like in the Philippines is online. So
Mm,
that's why it's so high tech, and I guess that's why it's so expensive, because maybe you're paying for their internet connection when
right. Right.
that that movie is screening online. So
I
galing.
don't even remember. I don't remember the last movie that I saw in IMAX. To be honest with you, it's been
Not
so long. I haven't
memorable,
gone to the movie theater at all in a very long time. To be honest with you, because it's
right?
so expensive. It's more comfortable watching it at home. Nowadays, there's a lot of movies that are out on the theater the same day. It's available for online streaming on your TV. So you
I
know,
remember one of the comments about having like Hollywood screwed itself over with all these Marvel Avengers movies.
oh
Like
God, yeah,
somebody commented like those movies should be on TV. Like the way that they made it. It's not like, I'm gonna get up, plan the rest of the day, work my schedule all around the screening that I want to watch today, kind of thing. Like
yeah,
they're saying that the story and the quality of the visuals basically, or of the
mm,
movie, is like
hmm,
something that you should be watching in TV, not necessarily getting up and going to a theater. So
well,
having said that, for
yeah,
me, the only thing that I
okay.
remember watching, I think watching on IMAX, was it must have been on IMAX, because I remember feeling the bullets like come through. Was like right above my head was Saving Private Ryan.
Saving
I think
Private
that
Ryan.
I think that was on IMAX. Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
it was like it was such an immersive feeling where I was like, did those bullets just whiz through my head? It's, I remember my IMAX experience.
Right.
So
I think the best movie that I saw in IMAX was Black Hawk Down.
did that
Remember that
stick out?
movie?
Did you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you feel the helicopter blades? Like,
It just felt like you were literally right there, and the movie was so clear
mm,
that there's some scenes where it's kind of dusty and all that stuff, where there's dust flying around because of the helicopters. I ended up doing something like this because I thought it was that clear. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
yeah. So yeah, so there is like some immersive feeling to it. You're not just stepping back and watching. You can actually feel that you're there.
Do you find it worth it
So
though? Like paying that much money for watching IMAX?
that's exactly why I'm researching it, because it's like, what am I paying for, really?
Right, right.
Because here, like I said, June is showing now. June Part 2. It's both.
Mm,
It's showing both on regular screens and on specific IMAX theaters. So I'm like,
mm.
and then like if I look at reviews, like, oh, you got to watch it on IMAX. You got to watch it on IMAX, and double the price. I'm like, what exactly am I paying for?
Right.
So that's why I wanted to share with you. Aside from clear, it's bigger and it sounds better. There's that
Hmm.
online thing. Like the
I
headquarters
think
knows if the projector is screwing up, so you're almost guaranteed that it's not going to get screwed up because it's going to
right,
get
right.
refreshed, or there's going to be like a software update. It's always
It's
going to be.
buffering.
It's good. No, that the projector is always supposedly always updated with the latest software.
Right, right.
I
I don't
guess.
know. Like for me, it's never been about. See, I'm very selective when I go to the movies. Right. I'd much rather go to the movies and watch movies like I think are worth watching in the movie theater. Like for example, like Apollo 13 or
Mm,
Titanic and whatnot. You know what I mean? Just to name a few, Schindler's List. Those are like the kind of movies that I like watching in movie theaters.
mm,
Like
yeah.
or Mission Impossible. Those were pretty cool to me to watch, and Top Gun, obviously. But
Right.
for the most part, it's all about the comfort for me now. You know what I mean? It's not about like, oh, how good does it sound or how I don't know. Plus,
Right.
I
Right.
can't
Maybe not.
justify paying like going to a movie theater for one person. Like for example, it's like $30, $40, popcorn, tickets, and drinks.
Like I said, like most of the movies that are being made now. Again, this is not my original thought, but got to give
Yeah.
credit to the comments that I've been reading. That yeah, it like most of the movies that have been made now are like more like TV movies. They're not like enough for you to get up out of your house and go to a
Yeah.
movie theater. Like
Well, I think, like
they're
you said,
TV movies type of
Marvel
stories.
definitely ruined it for me. At first, it was good watching the whole Marvel series and whatnot on the movie theaters, but it got old.
Mm.
I don't know.
That's why they're saying now that Dune is like a slap in the face to Hollywood, where it's like, hey, this is what you guys should have been doing for the past 10 years, instead of you know doing whatever it is that you guys are doing, throwing
Man, I
themselves
mean, if you think
over with
about
a.
it, everything else was pretty much lowered in regards to movie expectations because of what almost over 10 years of Marvel movies.
Right,
You know,
right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good movies, but I think you're right that I would much rather watch it at home. You know,
Yeah, there's that thing about watching the movie at home, but again, there are specific movies that are event types, or I mean, if you could, get up and watch in a
and
theater if
go,
you could.
yeah, yeah. Like for they've marketed so much of the Marvel movies that any other movies come secondary, and I barely hear about it. And to be
Yeah, it's
honest
such a
with you, it just pops up online, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that came out, type of thing, right?
yeah, or I'll just wait for it to come out on Netflix or come out on
Yeah,
streaming.
yeah, yeah. And it,
One last thing,
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
that's probably worth to mention about Dune. What they're saying, apparently Zendaya and the main actors, like a lot of the main actors are, I mean, a lot of the actors that are a lot of the cast members are big actors, and they
Yeah.
gave some kind of that feeling when you're making an independent movie.
Mm.
There's like a different performance level that you get a feel because it's an independent movie.
Right.
You know what I
No, no.
mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You're not, you know that you're not watching, let's say, uh, James Bond, which is not to say that James Bond's not a good series or what, but you get that feeling that you're
It's more of
watching
a
a Hollywood.
personal movie type of feeling, when you watch an indie movie.
So that's the positive thing that they were saying about the performances of the actors on
Yeah.
Dune, that you get this independent film
Yeah. Yeah.
acting feeling from the guys.
You know
So,
that the one of the main guys here, Austin Butler, he played Elvis. You know that, right? On the last Elvis movie.
oh no, I
Yeah.
didn't catch that.
Oh man, he was amazing in that movie. To be honest, that's the only reason why I know of him is because of the movie Elvis. It was amazing. I'll tell you that much. But I don't know
He's
if he actually won that year. But it was a good movie.
Yeah, they're saying like he changes from like being the sweet, you know, celebrity looking boy next door guy to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the villain in in Dune, which is also another thing that bonus points on my Dune comment here. Why I'm also looking forward to it, and why maybe I'm an instant fan. I mean, compared to Star Wars, all
Right.
with all due respect to the Star Wars fans,
Hmm.
this is why I'm also interested in it, which is also the same thing about Star Wars. Actually, it's not really a story about like a hero. It's really, according to the critics, or the people explaining what Dune is all about, it's really like a story about like a villain, on how he becomes a villain. Like
How
I
he
guess slowly,
becomes. Okay.
like slowly,
Sorry.
slowly by slowly, like from one movie to another. Probably he's like slowly making choices about how the bad stuff that he wants to happen in the world, to put it
Mm.
plainly,
Hmm.
is become like being justifiable in his head, like starting a jihad or starting a war or fighting, good versus evil kind of thing. But it's not really good versus evil. There are so many different like layers
Right.
to a character, and I guess that's what that's what the story is supposed to be all about.
Hmm.
Basically, in so many words, that it's a story of like a villain, on how I wrote some stuff down. A story of someone becoming a villain. How we're sort of like delusional, or if I win this, therefore it means it's meant to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how they start to sort of brainwash themselves or delusion themselves into thinking
Whoa,
that, hey,
we're
what I'm doing
lagging
is
there.
right.
You're,
Am I back on?
yeah, you're back on. You're back on. I apologize.
And so another way to think about it is like, yeah, so slowly seeing his delusion, and and watching him slowly see how he's sort of justifying all the stuff that he's doing,
Hmm.
which isn't necessarily a good thing. I mean, it could be good for his side of the fence, but for other people it might not exactly be helpful or diplomatic or justified. There's
Right.
so many different layers. It's so hard to please everybody. But yeah, basically, and then there's this whole idea of being a white savior and this messianic complex, on how he thinks that he's there to save the world. But you know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
how true is that? So I just find it interesting, and they say that it's the same sort of layers, same topics, same themes, same
Yeah.
story sort of arc as Star Wars. But again, the packaging is different,
Right.
so
Right. Right.
it's
I mean,
interesting.
I'm
So
looking forward to watch it. I mean, I really, really enjoyed the first one, and to me, it kind of, like you said, it did in a way give that. Again, I don't want to insult the Star Wars fan, but it gave like an updated version of Star Wars, so to speak.
they
Does
said
that make
it's
sense?
the adult version of Star Wars.
Don't get me wrong. Again, there are a lot of diehard Star Wars fan, and I love Star Wars. You know what I mean? But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like what you just said, it does give that grown up effect. And Star Wars
Everything else,
fans are diehard, man. You don't want to mess with Star Wars fans.
yeah,
Don't
yeah. They
don't
had
get it
comment.
wrong and call it Star Trek.
but don't say that word. But
I
yeah, it's interesting though how I don't know if George Lucas has ever said that he was inspired by Dune, but
right.
obviously I guess he was. Yeah, and it's just interesting to see where it all began.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting lang. But I
Yeah.
guess back in the 70s, if you made a movie like that, I don't know if people would have caught up to it. I think Star Wars was perfect for its time.
What do you mean?
But yeah, parang like when the books came out, it was such an ambitious sort of story that
Mm-hmm.
maybe nobody else could have been able to tackle it except George Lucas was, creative enough, or maybe if the word is genius enough to come up with another version of it, which is
Right.
Star Wars.
Right.
Um, and it's only now that we have the technology and the means to for somebody to come up with to put it on screen is what I'm
Right.
saying. So
Right.
it's
Right.
just
Right.
sign of the times, I guess. So parang kumaga, not to razz on or not to talk negative about Star Wars, like what you were saying. I was just backing up
Careful.
on the idea that Star Wars was perfect for its time, like back in the 70s,
Yeah.
80s,
Absolutely.
early 80s, and then now maybe it's just a nice throwback or a look back at where it all began. It's also nice, 2024 to look into where it all started. Help me out. I don't want to dig myself into a hole here, but you know what I
Now,
mean.
that's kind of like raise a question for me though. What is that worst episode of Star Wars? You know what I mean?
Ta-
I mean, there's that's like an ongoing discussion that people have, especially within the Star Wars realm.
Mm,
You could read blogs and blogs and blogs on it, and I'm like, just not got into it. The new Star Wars. It's always been the
mm.
older Star Wars for me. To me, those were like amazing and perfect.
Same.
So,
And I love how imperfect and like ugly the 80s, the first trilogy of Star Wars looked
mm.
versus how clean, crisp, and
Hey,
really nice it looks now.
for in that time though, those were amazing. You gotta admit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nothing like that's ever been done in that time.
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. And looking back at it now, it's nice to look back at it. I'm not really a fan of the clean, crisp, looks so perfect
right.
uh, version of it, and maybe I don't have enough of an appreciation for it. But yeah, again, like because it's so clean and crisp. Back in the days in the 70s, 80s, it was kind of either you were a Star Wars fan or an Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I was more of and Dune now is sort of a mix of both for me. So
yeah.
that's
I,
why
I
I
was
find
more
it
of the Indiana Jones fan, though. I mean,
and likewise, that's why I wasn't so much for Star Wars.
right, right. So real quick, let's jump into this if we can. It's a little segue for you here.
What you got?
I've got today's word of the day.
Word of the day.
So immaculate.
It's so immaculate. Today's word of the day is glow up. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Glow up. So, as it says here, glow up is like an upgraded version of growing up. As you age, you only become more fabulous. Jesus Christ, really? The staggering transformations associated with glow ups. How would you use that in a sentence? I have no idea. Hey man, sometimes you don't want to glow up too fast. Huh? That doesn't sound right, does it?
It's supposed to be positive, but I can only think of a negative sentence right now. Like looking at our past to recent episodes on the podcast, I have definitely not been glowing up.
This, you know what? You blame it on the shift on the schedule. It's a morning time for you, and you're not exactly a morning person.
I wouldn't put it that way. I'm just saying that, like, as you get older, no, it's funny because it segues into like my not having gotten a haircut and not shaving. It's kind
Yeah.
of like as I get older, I'm just getting a little bit more comfortable at being messy.
Just being like, yeah, and that's the sad
like
part about though, you know.
like a
Anyway,
hillbilly, like a hillbilly.
yeah,
You know, but I don't know. Maybe some people will find it sexy. Maybe that's what will make me glow up. But usually I hear the words glow up like pertaining to like girls or pretty
yeah. I
people.
mean, I'm
Pretty,
sure it's mainly women or girls that actually use it terminology wise. I don't know, but glow up, yay or nay? It's a nay for me.
I don't know how to use it. It's too complicated. Glow.
Yeah, and it's definitely a
In, in,
nay for me.
in Tagalog we say, "Uy, glowing siya." Eh,
No,
ganon, or
not the same. Well, it could be the
blooming.
same. It could be, but I don't know. Anyway,
I think it means the same thing.
yeah, that's a no for me.
millennial word of the day.
I forgot to ask you if you heard somebody use it the other day or one of your kids said it.
It reminded me of maybe last year was the first time I heard it. My kids were talking about something in school, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to glow up too early." You
Glow
know,
up too early.
yeah, like in school, like in high school, you don't want to glow up too early. So I don't know, and it just reminded me of that when I saw this while browsing through Word of the Days and whatnot. I don't know,
Okay.
whatever.
All right. Let me know if you're up for a couple of women or female news that I have here, but I wouldn't push. I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
reminded me of
well,
it.
let's
If
go
we're
back.
talking about
Let's go
glow
real
up.
quick. I don't want to talk on this for quite a while or anything like that. But
Hmm.
for our Mariteses out there, there's a rumor apparently that Bea Alonzo and Dominic, what's his name? Roque?
Okay.
Roque are possibly back together. I don't know, But well, apparently what's happening is there's been cases where he is being seen spending time or spending overnight at her house.
Yeah.
So
I,
there's
I heard.
questions like, okay, are they back together or what? And apparently she's wearing the ring again sometimes, not all the time.
What I'm hearing from Tin was that he spent a few nights outside of her house, not necessarily going inside, maybe nanliligaw or waiting for her
Oh,
reconsideration or what, but something about him hanging out in front of her house for a while.
isn't that stalking?
Uh, Maybe it is. It is if the person doesn't like you or if the person says go away.
Right.
But if the person is, showing some signs of interest, maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe it's not stalking for her. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of creepy as hell though. If he's just parked in front of her house, just waiting for her car to come out and like, hi. But people are saying that he actually spent the night in the house with her.
Listen, to be quite honest with you, I could almost care less because I kind of feel like it's their private lives and I don't really
Exactly.
want to bother talking about it. But I think it's important to talk about it in a sense like, aren't you glad that you're not this famous or you're not that famous?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
like you guys talk you guys talk something about your prenup and how you don't want to sign or don't want to sign
Right.
a prenup agreement, that kind of thing. So you broken up, it's such a public thing, and then now you're back together. Like people are talking about it. Like someone in a podcast like us is talking about it. Like, isn't it
Mm.
kind of? It's got to be annoying or scary or both at
It's
the
got to be
same
a little bit
time.
of both, I mean, because honestly, I mean, I wouldn't want to be that famous, to be honest with you, or I want to be famous at all in some cases, but it comes with a price. Everything is
Yeah,
questionable down to your relationship.
yeah,
So,
and
so did
everything's
their
like
romance or love actually prevail? Was true love enough to overcome the supposed scandal that they went through? The truth that was
right.
brought up.
Yeah, but again, like people are going through the relationship with a fine comb,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
like
Well, I mean,
looking at
they're literally under a microscope.
every microscopic pixel in the photo. It's like, is she wearing a ring? Not wearing a
Right.
ring? What's
Right.
the context behind this photo, kind of thing. Which actually is probably a good segue. If you don't mind, we could talk about Kate Middleton. You want to
Yep.
talk about her?
Let's do that.
Yeah, with all the microscopic things that we are talking about a while ago, I thought I would title this one as Royal Photoshopping. But again,
Mhm.
with the royal family, celebrities, kind of thing, I'm not really one to talk about them. I like to just sort of like leave them alone. It's their personal lives.
Correct.
But I found this one interesting. Also, again, it segues into what we were talking about a while ago about your lives being under a microscope in a sense that um, so Kate Middleton, give me a second to try to put up the link here, huh? Just a second.
Sige
She
lang.
posted a picture on Twitter, uh, I think just yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. When is Mother's Day? Was Mother's Day just a couple of days
Mother's Day
ago?
passed already. When's
Uh,
Mother's Day?
but I don't know. I don't know why what the occasion was. For some reason, I thought it was something to do with Mother's Day. But where is that one? Can't find. Oh, there. Okay, it's on X. Yeah, so she posted something on X. Um, oh, there it is. Yeah, showing that she. Okay, supposedly this is a big deal because this is the first time that she's like been in. She's back in the public in
Hmm.
such time. Like last, technically, parang the last we heard from her was December, or last time that the public's heard from her was in December.
Hmm.
And then, like less than 24 hours later, people were commenting and saying that it looks like it was Photoshop. And I'll show you some of the articles that came out. And I think
Like
this is such,
this looked photoshopped.
yeah, exactly. It took me a few minutes to looking at it. Also, I couldn't find anything, so I had to search for a couple of articles. But
Right.
the reason why I thought I would bring this up was because, I mean, can you imagine? And like back in December, I think there was some rumor about her like having some kind of surgery or something about her health being questionable.
Hmm.
So the reason why it's such a big deal, like whether it's photoshopped or not, is again, it's about the trust, about whether they're putting up a front photoshopping and making it look like she's healthier than she really is,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. But there's also this issue about the news agencies that have high standards about not accepting photos or publishing photos that are photoshopped. So when they got word that these are not photos, because it ruins credibility.
Correct.
So now they're experiencing this PR nightmare because whether she did it as on a personal level, or it's because or if somebody did the photoshopping for her or whatever. But she did admit that it was Photoshop, by the way.
Oh. Well, I mean, what did they have to Photoshop? I don't understand.
Yeah, here I got another screen share for you. Hold on a second. I don't know if it's on this article or not. I like copied several articles. I don't know which one's which anymore. Yeah, so Kate Middleton has confirmed yesterday's royal family photos actually edited. So
Okay.
this is her actually admitting that it is edited. There are a
Hmm.
couple of other articles that show. Let me give me a second to try to look for it. I'm lost in all these links already that I've saved.
I don't
I think it's
understand
probably this
why
one at
they
the
would
bottom.
Photoshop something too if it's just a family portrait, though. You know, I mean, is it something they're
Yeah,
trying to hide? Are they trying to hide something?
right. Even me finding this article that it was Photoshop, and then there's like
Right.
specific like screenshots explaining how that it was Photoshop. I also don't see what the reason why they would Photoshop it here. So according to this, and of course you have to see it like really, really closely.
Yeah.
There's some blurry part over there that's not supposed to be blurry. Can you see
Yeah,
my
that looks
mouse?
like it. Yeah, I can see your mouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. So I don't know. I don't know why they would bother photoshopping it. Um,
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why? What is
I
the
don't know where.
reason? Are they hiding something?
Yeah, and then there was another one, something about her zipper, like in the middle there somewhere, about the zipper being like misaligned or whatever. But whole point, and her left hand here, it's
hmm,
blurry, whereas
yeah.
the rest of the boy's sweater is not blurry. So they'd be like, why is her hand blurry? And you know what I mean. So it shouldn't fall out of that that area of focus. Like it's
The
supposed to be.
question to ask here is not about why it's blurry or not, or photoshopped or not. The question is, why is she not wearing a wedding ring?
So that was another issue, right? So, but you know, again, it goes back to, for me, the why it's so important is because it's a PR nightmare that you kind of lose trust, with your
Hmm.
audience, and then
Right.
the fact that it's never heard of before. That, I mean, of course, there must have been royal family photos that have been photoshopped.
Doctrined and
It-
whatnot. Yeah.
That's probably not the issue here. The bigger issue here is that these news agencies, maybe for the first time, I'm not so sure how first time it is,
Hmm.
but for the first time, or it's never been heard of before, as far as as far as I know, or
Right.
far from what I heard, that they've never retracted and said that we're taking these photos out because they're fake. That it's never been done before, especially on the royal family.
Well, she's actually admitted to it as well. You know, but why
Yeah,
though? That's the question I want to get answered to. Like, why Photoshop
yeah,
it? What is the reason? What are you hiding?
right. Like, does it make it look better? Does it make her look
Yeah.
healthier? But it looks like a real photo. I mean,
Exactly. To me, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong it looks like they're just a happy kids hanging around with their mom.
yeah, but what did they clean it up for, though, right? What did they
Right.
Photoshop it for? Yeah, that's what I also don't
Exactly.
understand. But the whole, again, that's one reason. But the other thing is, again, the news agencies retracting these photos from their, and announcing that we don't want to publish these photos anymore. We're retracting it because they're Photoshop. They're not saying, like, because usually they might retract something and not say why they would do it, or why somebody
Right.
would, something like that maybe. But this
Maybe
one is
these
like,
news. I don't get that. Why they would even retract that? It's not like there's something that's to be hidden. If they're hiding something that's quite obvious, then yeah, absolutely retract it. But there's no story here. For the mere fact
yeah,
that it's been doctrined or photoshopped, she admitted to it.
yeah.
So what's the case?
So
Post
yeah,
it. Why retract it? I don't get
this
it.
is news is literally fresh off the press,
Yeah.
like 10, 11, 12 hours ago since I saw
I
this one.
have no issue whatsoever on why she photoshopped it or they photoshopped it, maybe to make it look clearer or nicer. Fine. The question for me in this picture is, why is she not wearing her wedding ring? That's my question. You know what I mean? That's just
Mari-
me.
Marites.
Yeah, pretty much. You know?
One more news on a woman now, if you want to. I don't know how
Sure.
to talk about this, but I don't want to spend too long on it. But I think it's worth the mention,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really sure how to talk about it. Help me if I'm crossing the line here or what. But I think
Sure.
it's worth the mention. Um, uh, I ride a motorcycle and I follow some moto vloggers every
Mm-hmm.
now and then. And so on one of my YouTube feeds, actually the news actually supposedly came out on Instagram. They published it on Instagram, but on my feed it came out that there was this couple that's in India, and there was a basically a sexual crime that happened. I'm not even sure if I can say it.
Yes, you can. She was gang raped. You can say it.
Yeah, but it's just so weird saying it out loud. So she was gang raped,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many different angles worth talking about this. And of course, a lot of Indian folks are ashamed, And then some of them are also even saying like, why do you even shame our country? You're not nationalistic, like
Mm-hmm.
Indians like fighting against each other. Like, so there are some that uh appreciate it because it's being talked about, and then
Right.
some of them hate those people bringing it up because they're saying like you're shaming our country.
Right.
So
Right.
I can, well, I just thought I would bring it up in a sense that to maybe, the way I see it, it's like if we don't talk about things like this, if we don't bring up things like this, if we're too ashamed to bring up to talk about it, and
Right.
it's not to talk negative about India, but
Yeah.
there's something.
It's talking about that these things happen.
Yeah, yeah, and and I guess the reason why I wanted to bring it up was, there's this stigma about. Okay, so Tin and I had like
Ace.
a little bit of an argument a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days,
Yeah.
about her posting like a sensitive photo, not even about her body. It
Mm-hmm.
was like something about money, right? And then I was like, don't post something like that because you're inviting trouble, right? And so some of the comments, and I thought I would share this because some of the comments that this article was getting was that, if you're walking around our country like that, like almost half naked in a bathing suit, you're
Mm-hmm.
inviting trouble. So, like
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that.
exactly, but you having a daughter, if she wanted to walk around a place that people will be whistling at her or saying like woo woo sexy,
Mm-hmm.
how would you feel as a dad, or would you tell her not to be dressed like that, or what's your.
I can't. I don't think I would ever tell my kids. I don't think I would ever tell them to not express themselves. Okay. Of
Mm,
course, there has to be some sort of limit for yourself, not for everybody else.
mm,
Because there's two different things, or a couple of different things going on in this particular case. Though this happened in India. This
mm,
travel vloggers or bloggers are traveling India, and they just so happen to post some stuff that maybe have attracted some not so genuine people and caused
mm.
this to happen. Um, she got
Although
raped. They got targeted.
I don't know if it was because of her social media feed that they were
Correct.
targeted. Okay, but let's just say that these guys, these perpetrators, didn't see her social media feed,
Which is what
but
I
she's
believe
known to
happened.
be walking around like almost half naked. She's not like fully clothed. I would assume when it happened. I can't even say that no, but the fact that
Correct.
she's a woman, and then sh- they couldn't find a hotel to sleep in, so they decided to camp out. So apparently,
Right.
like there was like a nearby village. I think there's a bunch of guys that came up to her tent and attacked them.
Hmm.
Hurt the husband.
I honestly don't think that it had anything to do with what she was wearing. Um, I think they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Uh, Honestly, if you're doing what you're doing, travel bloggers and whatnot, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be able to pick the right places to go to and do this kind of things. Um, yeah, you couldn't find a place to. Really though, you can't find a place to stay at, so you camp out. Now, where do you camp out? That's probably the question. But
Yeah.
who's to say?
Well,
Because these kind of things could happen anywhere.
at the risk of I don't want to sound like we're blaming the female, right, for whatever horrendous thing happened to her.
Hmm.
I mean, I'd like to be able to say also that, um, like what you said already, that it can happen anywhere, and that
Hmm.
you don't want to like. But would you? There's my question though. Going back to it, I don't know if you answered it. Would you tell your daughter to dress up and not wear what she wants to wear because she's more comfortable? It's hot.
I mean, I think it's okay, but know where you're going. Be smart
Yeah.
about
So
it. You know what I mean?
yeah. So if you're going to India, Pakistan, Iran,
Right.
these places that are known to not look at women the rest like the rest of the world does.
And their women don't exactly scandally walk around as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I think the
obviously, in
right
that kind of
answer there is
situation,
I think the right answer there, and I guess without at the risk of blaming the woman, like you gotta like observe how everybody else is dressed and sort of
correct,
try to blend in,
adapt
but
to
you
it.
can't. But I also can't say that though, because
It's gonna
do
be
we have
hard.
the
It's literally a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's literally the situation here. I don't think it has anything to do with what she's wearing. I don't think it has anything to do with her social media. I Based on the articles that I've read and some of the pictures that I've seen in their social media, I
maybe
can't use that as a reason. You
maybe
know,
this is what I'm getting at. Could she have been, or should she have been more careful? Should they have been more careful?
absolutely,
Are,
absolutely.
would
They
we?
could have definitely, but maybe they were. And again, it's just a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Um,
The flip side of this story, though, bro, I forgot to mention, is that it's
mm,
already happened before. I mean, the rape cases in India, in this country, is so high, but not just
it's
that,
yeah.
because people, some of the commenters that I was watching, like Indian female Indian woman
Mm,
commenting, is that basically the laws in the country are, when it comes to that, is just so
mhm.
low. Like they're not doing any justice. It's like a slap on the wrist, and then
Yeah,
a couple of months
yeah.
later, a couple of years later, they're out.
I mean, there's a number of videos on YouTube where they're being groped and molested and whatnot. Actually, um,
Mm,
there is a YouTuber, is a Filipino guy and a British girl.
mm, mm.
Um, that hold on one sec. I'm trying to find it. What was that name? It's Zoe and something.
Something similar
Uh,
happened.
yeah. So they were actually in India. Here we go. It's this couple right here.
Also in India.
Zoe and Czar. They actually visited India. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and they were filming in the streets. Okay, and you can
Oh.
actually see people groping her
Mm-mm. Mm.
in the middle of the street. You know what I mean? I mean, they played it off, and basically, they tried to make light of it. But at the end, they did say, yes, just be careful, because you'll never know what could happen. They did say that. It was in India. I think it was like late last year that they traveled to India, and it was a scary experience for her, apparently.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's not the first time it happened in India, and it keeps happening. I can't find that video. Yeah, it's these two. I've followed them for like a year now, actually. Um, and see, I think they took the India videos down.
Oh no. Wow.
I
Uh-oh.
don't know if they took it down, but they did have quite a bit of India.
Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't
right
mean to
there,
do that.
India.
My screen overrode your screen share.
It's fine. Can I show this real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, this is their India visits right here. They were walking around the streets in India, vlogging,
Mm.
and she was getting groped. Not just by some grown guys, but kids as well. Like literally grabbing her ass and her boobs
Right.
and all that stuff. And it was kind of hard, a little bit uncomfortable to watch, to be honest with you. But I don't think they showed a lot of it. There was multiple times that, yeah, it showed. And they did say, just be careful.
Yeah.
I lost you.
Again, if I sounded like I was blaming the women a while ago, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Again, I want to apologize in case I sounded like I was like indirectly blaming the women a while ago. What I was
yeah.
actually trying to get at also was there was this other video that I came across at, and we'll probably end it with this one if there's anything else you wanted to talk about if we're running out of time.
Sure.
But there's this video that I came across. I couldn't help myself. It's like, why India? Why does it seem like there's like a culture, quote unquote, a culture of rape or disrespecting women there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is. Can't say that all Indians are like this, but there was this guy. It's on the print. This was a 4-year-old video already, and I just came across it just this morning actually. And
Mm.
basically, you'll hear in this 3 minute and 45 second video. Basically, this guy interviewing other guys about, and here's one of the answers, like, women are wearing such tiny skirts in public, don't you think that we're going to get excited, like basically blaming the women for the way that they're dressed. It's like,
Yeah, that's
that's not gonna happen.
ridiculous.
That's not gonna happen in my house. Let's just give it 20 seconds just to
Yeah,
give you
go
an
ahead.
idea of what I mean with this video.
आजकल तो बड़ी बड़ी फैक्ट्रियां लगी भी है जिसके अंदर कपड़े बनते हैं, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए कि अभी आप ऐसे कपड़े ना बना के भेजें मार्केट के अंदर।
पहले जब ऐसे कपड़े नहीं थे तो बलात्कार कहाँ होता था?
नहीं पहले नहीं होते थे तो अपनी बॉडी दिखाती है।
I think the word is if not misogynistic, there's another word for it about no, wait, I think what I meant was to go through some of the comments that the Indians themselves were commenting and saying about it. These people say these people can say anything in the name of Indian culture. They blame everyone except the guy who commits rape.
Right, right. I mean, it's been apparently it's been an ongoing issue in India. I don't know if you're familiar, but OFW partnership with India actually ceased back in 2022 from the OFWs to India because apparently there are too many cases where women are being raped.
Oh wow,
You know?
I didn't know that.
And they were being mistreated by their I guess bosses or whatnot.
Wow.
But I don't know. I know that ban or that ending from the partnership for OFWs to India ceased in 2022 and then again started up in 2023. But I don't know if that lasted long because again, there is that very, very big ongoing issue with OFWs in India where the bad treatment is just,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I want to share this one last thing though before we let go of this topic. This is my favorite comment of this person saying, "If hypocrisy had a face."
Yeah.
I mean, because throughout the video, you'll hear these men basically say that we're protect yourselves, basically
Right.
stay home,
Right.
stay home. Like women have all the rights that they want, but they gotta stay home. Such women shouldn't be let out of the house. I mean, it's like they're saying that women and men have equal rights, but stay home.
But that's
At the same
ridiculous.
time.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're saying stay home.
Women in India, though, as far as I know, as far as it goes back, I know it's a little bit different now, but tradition is women stay home. They take care of their men and everything else. And that's it.
Look at this thing. Another thing this guy said. So how can you blame the women for dressing sexy, right? And then this guy says maybe she was wearing revealing clothes. That's why.
Yeah, but does that justify you raping the woman? You know what I mean?
That's why. So it's just interesting. So, but again, we were talking about foreigner to foreigner comments about the Philippines the other day. This one's a
तो
video.
उसकी ये गलती है उसने कुछ कपड़े ऐसे पहन रखे हों।
Sorry.
मतलब ये जो
This
बलात्कार
this one's a video by an Indian
Mm-hmm.
under an Indian company interviewing other Indians also. So it's I don't know how to comment.
It's quite insulting watching this, though, to be honest with you. I mean, it seems like they're kind of making fun of the idea of like, you know what, women are just that's just the way they are. That's how they're supposed to be.
That's the thing. You have a strong belief about something, and you believe that all women and men have equal rights. But you also believe that something about men being whatever, and then those two
Clashing.
ideas clash, and they can't like exist in the same space.
Right, right. It's
So
so. I mean, that bears the question: women going to dangerous places, okay, but that's not their fault, you know. And I don't think the India has a kind of like maybe they just don't embrace that idea of women being more free, so to speak, or being able to express themselves accordingly or the way they want to.
yeah, or be free but be smart. Like
Yeah,
there was
that
another.
guy that was kind of insulting though. Watching that, listening to that guy, it's kind of like you said. It's like treating women like meat and
Yeah,
justifying the fact that they got raped because of that. Oh, she's wearing that kind of clothes, so she deserved
there
to
was
get raped. Really?
there was another comment somewhere in one of the videos that I saw that
Yeah.
just something about see what happens if you believe in like woke idealism that like anywhere you go it's such a utopia, like
Yeah.
all people are good and will not hurt you. But yeah, most people are good, but sometimes they're not, so just be careful.
Correct.
Maybe is just
Yeah.
the word, but I don't know, I just thought I'd bring it up because it's such an unfortunate. I mean, I love the whole idea of like, India. I've never been there, but I would love to go there someday. And their culture, their food, and then all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden they have
Mm-hmm.
something like this. I feel bad for India, and I feel bad for the couple
Yeah.
at the same
Absolutely.
time. It's
Yeah.
such
Because
a
it's
such a
not everybody in India. It's like that. But it's an unfortunate thing that it is a reoccurring incident in India. Apparently,
such a sad
and
story. And there's
it
some
is.
celebrities that have been outraged and reacting to it also. And then there was another, like a reporter that was saying, "I'm sick and tired of all this outrage. Nothing's happening."
Mm, mm.
So there, I'll end it there. That's just my 2 cents. I just thought I would share it. I don't
Yeah,
want
no, no,
to.
no. It like you were definitely right. It's definitely something that needs to be talked about, and hopefully that's something that they can fix or something that can be done about it. Because it is, like I said, watching that vlogger Zoe and Czar um, walking around India and that happening. That's the first thing
Mm,
that popped in my head when you brought this up. I'm like, man, that is it is true. It sucks. Why does it
such a
have to
bad
be
rep.
like that?
That's such a bad reputation
It is. There's
for the
also
country.
there's actually also another video on YouTube where it's another one of those festivals where this Chinese girl was being harassed and groped and the same thing. I've seen it multiple times and it's a bad rep
Same
and it
same
sucks.
country,
Yeah,
India
India.
also.
Hmm.
Man,
Yeah. So hopefully that they could do something about it. And I don't want to say it's the woman's fault. Just be careful. It's definitely not your fault. Be careful where you go, or your surroundings. Maybe be a little bit more attentive to your surroundings, especially if you're a blogger, a travel blogger, and you're camping out and whatnot. You know.
yeah. I don't know. I don't want to comment anymore. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite comment though. If hypocrisy had a face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you have any good news on your back pocket somewhere before we end
Uh
this show?
not really. Not right now. To be honest with you, I'm a little. This is a little weird doing this again because it's been so long doing it at this schedule, and the other schedule has worked for us so well that this is a little weird doing it this way. To be honest with you, so hopefully we
So
can get used to it.
is that like a yay or nay kind of thing? Are we voting?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. We have to see what kind of effect it does on the numbers, and then we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Listen. Before we go, you got another minute. Let's
Yeah,
go over for a couple of minutes. This one, I don't want this one to burn from my pocket.
go
It's
ahead.
still pretty hot. I think this one came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But speaking of vloggers and people, online, Kiko Pangilinan is
Hmm.
filing a case against another vlogger. Apparently, according to him, they've been spreading some fake news about him
Really?
and his family, and or about him like being a wife beater or something like that.
Mm.
And I thought I would just bring it up because um, the channel all of a sudden is gone. Number one,
The
and then
vloggers channel.
yeah, and then number two, he's also filing a case or complaining against, I think, YouTube or Google, because he has been complaining about it for a couple of months already, and nothing has been done. And I think that's what he was complaining about. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, but I don't think that's on YouTube or Google, though. You can't put that on YouTube or Google because it's a platform. It's not like they're the one that's broadcasting it. Yeah, what are they going to do? Monitor every single one? Come on. You can't do that.
Right. Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's the latest.
Yeah.
Mga
I think we are
marites.
done for the day. Anything else you want to add?
I was just warming up, getting ready for your bits of news. Don't tell me you're tired already, old man.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't have anything else right now. But we're over the time limit anyway.
All right, all right. Oh yeah, by the way, my son's been calling me old man lately, and I figured it's from June 1. There's like an old man line there. June 1
really?
or June 2. Anyway, so he's just been finding it funny to call me old man. Like, here, let's go wrestle, old man. Like,
but thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you for this is another episode that was added on to this week. We're getting used to it, hopefully soon, but we don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, one last thing, since you asked, the Indian government or that local government where they caught the
They caught the guys already. That's right. Yeah.
Bro, all they did was pay them like 10,000 pounds, $12,000, and then that was it so far. Maybe they're getting arrested.
What? Hold on. What do you mean? Who paid who?
The government gave them like $12,000 cash deposited to the guy's account already.
The couple?
And they were and then they were offering like police assistance out of the country, that kind of thing, and I think they were refusing it. But yeah, they were paid $10,000. But yeah, it's just another one of those comments about like, yun lang, $12,000 lang. It's like a woman's experience like that is only worth $12,000.
Yeah,
sort of saying.
We got a special guest here from somebody who hasn't been around in a while.
Hey,
look at this. Say hi, Noel.
Hi.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. Next episode coming up on Wednesday. Check us out. So if there's nothing else, thank you very much for joining us. This is The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel. Hopefully by then I would have had my hair cut and
shave. Yes, maybe
already.
shower a little bit too.
Catch you guys again on the next episode.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
Bye. Say bye. Catch us on the next episode, Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Philippines. This is The Flip Side with Jay and Noel.